my God की कसम.
So hello everyone, welcome to our React series for beginners. So in today's video, we are going to understand three topics: memo, use callback and use memo. So without wasting any time, let's get into the video. So first of all, we will set up React project, create our app component, import it in main.jsx and render it like this. Now let's create a state const count set count is equal to use state, and let's give initial value as 0, and let's display value of count here, and let's create a button increment which will increment this count. So right on click, and this will call a function that will increment count by 1. Now we will create a child component. We can also create new file, but for now let's do it here. So this will display a simple message child component, and let's render it inside app component. Now as we know, whenever this state updates, the app component re-renders. That means this will re-render, make sense. This will re-render, make sense. But this will also re-render. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, if we are just playing with these two things, why this child component has to suffer? To check this, we will do console.log so that it print a message whenever this app component re-renders. And also do same for child component and change the message. Now let's open it in our browser. So open terminal, write npm run dev, click on the link. So we can see it is incrementing the count successfully, but if you inspect and open console, we can see the app component is rendering, but this child component is also re-rendering. So to fix this problem, we have something called memo, which skips re-rendering when the props are unchanged. So to use this memo, first of all we have to write functions like this. Those who don't know, it is another way of writing function. Now we have to just wrap this function inside memo, which will be imported from React. So let's wrap it. So this memo will now prevent this component from re-rendering. Let's check it. So as we can see, only app component is re-rendered now. Now there is another problem. Let's suppose we have a prop here, handle click, which is passing a function, and let's name function as my function and define its body, and let's print a simple message. Now there is a problem that whenever this app component re-renders, it reads this function as a new function. App component will forget that this function already exists, so it will treat it as a new function. And if this is new, that means this is also new. And that means the props are changed now. And if you look at the definition of memo, it says it only skip re-rendering when props are unchanged. But here props are changed. That means even if we have used memo, it will still re-render. And let's see this practically. We can see child component is re-rendering again. So to fix this, we have used callback hook, which says it helps to remember or memorize function. So just like how we wrapped the child component inside memo, we will wrap this function inside the use callback hook, which is also imported from React. And also we have to give a dependency here, and let's give it empty. That means it will be rendered only once. Now let's save this. So as we can see, child component is not re-rendering anymore. Now let's move to useMemo. So it is just used to memorize the calculation and return a memoized value. What that means? Let's understand. So suppose we have a function which returns a square of this count. Now, if we want to display it, we have to store this returned value inside a variable. But if we will create a state like square, set square, but again, using state will re-render component, so it's not the best thing to do. The best thing is that we can directly store this returned value inside this square by treating it as a variable. So, is it possible? Yes, it is possible, but only with the help of useMemo. So let's wrap it inside this useMemo hook. So this square now contains the returned value. And let's try to display it here. So now let's save it and refresh and click on this button. So as we can see, we are able to increment this count, display its square, and we don't have to re-render child component again and again. I hope you understand these three topics. If you have any doubt, let me know in the comments. So see you soon in the next video. तब तक के लिए goodbye.